So, welcome to our training about the roboSet 2 in connection with the Genius that we have in our showroom. First of all, I want to point out the components we have on the roboSet. After that, we have a short look at the Genius. Then I will also start or create one program that we can measure those three tools we have right here. And then at the end, you are hopefully able to point out to the customers the main features of our roboSet and maybe also some of the software features. So right here, you can already see the more or less most important part of our roboSet. I will zoom in a little bit. It is the gripper right here. It is two-sided. Right now you cannot see it that well, but we have one gripper on the one side and then another one right here on the back side. The purpose of that is that we can grip all the tools from diameter 3 millimeter until 25. So one side of the gripper is from the range from 3 to 11, and the other side is from 12 to 25. The gripper with the bigger size also has the possibility to change our bushings. So now I took one from the tray, and you can see those are also a little bit different than the ones you already know from a Genius. First of all, they have right here this groove that a robot can grip it, and on the other side, they also have those slots right here. With the help of those, we can index it in our hydro chuck, and if the robot is taking out a tool, it is not taking out the bushing by accident. That means we also have a different hydro chuck for the roboSet. The hydro chuck has a little pin on the inside where the bushing is being held on. And if the customer is only using a certain diameter range, so if he's not producing tools from 3 to 25, but maybe only from 3 to 12 or from 6 to 16, I don't know, we can also have a special gripper that in that case we have 2 times the same gripper on both sides, and with the help of that we can use the machine a little bit more efficient because we can have 2 tools in the gripper at the same time, and we can save a few seconds for each tool. The tools are stored in pallets, so those are interchangeable. So right here you can see our standard pallet for tools with diameter 16. Depending on the pallets the customer uses, so he can also use his own pallets that are already existing or from a manufacturer of the grinding machine. According to those pallets, we will have a hole pattern right here in our pallet tray. Then on this roboSet, we actually have a new feature. It is the locking mechanism. So let me zoom in a little bit into that I can explain it to you. So you can see we have those little devices. They are on a slide, so you can slide them back and forth. And with the help of those, we will lock the pallets in place. Let me put it in. Now it's aligned with the holes. And now I can move this over, lift it up. And now it is holding the pallet. It cannot be removed right now. It is fixed. On the older version, this was a little bracket with a bolt. It was not so easy to operate. It was a little bit more time consuming. I really like this improvement they did. So you have a much smoother process when you are changing the pallet. Oh, those pallets are available from us if the customer wants to get them from us in all different sizes, millimeter, inch. And another thing we also have is pallets with different diameters. So if the customer has smaller batches, you can also have you have the possibility to store 3 different type of tools with 3 different shank diameters in one pallet and have many orders at once on the machine with smaller quantities. Then right here, I can show you the difference between our standard pallet. This is what we have as a standard, and this one is a pallet from a customer. You can see they have a different size. They have a different amount of pockets where the tools are going in. This is also possible If you want to sell a roboSet, there is a questionnaire you have to fill out together with the customer. And one chapter of this questionnaire is the pallet type they want to use. So they will give us all the dimensions they need or they have on those pallets. And according to that, we'll manufacture those aluminum plates right here where the pallets are attached to. So this is all possible that we use the customer specific pallets as you have seen right there. On the standard machine, we have 8 pockets where we can put the pallets in. 4 on the upper level, 4 on the lower level. The system works in that way that for each order, we need 3 pallets. 1 with tools that come from the grinding machine, which are not measured. Then one of the pallets where the good tools are going after the measurement, and another pallet where the tools out of tolerance will go after the measurement. So 8 places, 3 pallets per order doesn't make a lot of sense. So optionally, we have over there in the corner, let me zoom in, a 9th spot for the pallets, so that you can have, if you're working with full pallets, 3 orders at the same time in the machine. This is the first option that we offer for the roboSet 2. And we have some more options that the customer can choose or also cannot choose. One of them is over here. You can see it, the RoboMark II. RoboMark II can laser etch the tools. Depending on the customer needs, we can do it on the circumference and on the end. Both is available as an option. So that's also part of the questionnaire to tell us if the customer needs laser engraving only on the circumference or also at the end of the tool. Option number 1, RoboMark II. If the customer is then also producing cutting tools with a little flat surface, like this one right here, to clamp it later in the tool holder, hopefully it's ZOLLER tooling tool holder, they don't want to have the engraving exactly at this spot because it's not looking good, you cannot read it. For that case, we have right here a little laser measuring device to detect this flat spot and put it on the other side while engraving the tool, that the laser engraving is opposite of the little slot. This is also optionally available, makes only sense if you have the RoboMark II attached and if the customer is producing tools with the little spot for the clamping. Then the last option that we have right here attached on that roboSet 2 is the RoboClean ultrasonic cleaning device. So you can see it right here. In that case, we have the gripper right here to grip the tool and put it down here in the water. Usually this is water mixed with a special detergent for cleaning the tools. This little bath will be heated to a certain temperature depending on the specifications of the detergent. And when the tool is in, we will start the ultrasonic. In that way, we can clean the tool, so all the oil and the debris, the dust will be removed from the tool. And after that, you can maybe see it right here, where I'm pointing to over here. We have this little silver ring. This is actually a 360-degree air nozzle. So after cleaning the tool, it is wet, it is dripping. So we will take it into that air nozzle and we will dry it. Optionally, if the customer don't want to use or don't have the ultrasonic cleaning, we will only dry clean the tools, get the dust off before we start the measurement. Above this air nozzle, we have a little laser measuring device. This is to check if the tool slipped in the gripper, because if that happened, it can happen. Sometimes it is very rare, but if it happens and the tool sticks out too far and the robot wants to put it in the pallet or in the Genius or anywhere else, we will have a collision. And in order to avoid that, before we put it in the Genius or back into the pallet, we will check the shank length if the tool has slipped. If that happens, very rarely, we have right here this area where we can put the tools that have some sort of problem. So when the process came to an end, we can check if there are any tools, and we can check what the issue is with those tools. You can see up here we have a little camera attached to roboSet. There's also one in the Genius. This has two reasons. One for us, if we have some troubles with the machine and we have to do troubleshooting, we can connect remotely and control Pilot or the software for roboSet. And we can also have a look at the camera so we can see what is going on in the machine, what the robot is doing, what the machine is doing. The second part is that a customer can also use the cameras. So if the owner of the company is at home on the weekend, he sees the roboSet is finished, he can quickly drive to the company and put new tools in and start a new order. So they have also the full access to that cameras. I think that's it to the hardware of the roboSet. Does anyone have a question about the components of our roboSet 2? Is there anything?
Yeah, I see Kevin couple in the chat, one thing is, for instance, when you exchange the pallet, you had locators there. Does the robot need to be realigned?
No. The customer usually don't have to do any teaching with the robot. In the case of the pallets that we use right now, or as used as a standard pallets, we have those little feet. So 4 of those feet. In the base plate, we have 4 locations where the feet go in. So it's always at the same position. It's always indexed. And those holes right here, they also don't have a really tight tolerance. So the robot or the gripper has quite a big range where it's gripping. So this position error right here does not need to be considered by the customer. The precision is good enough.
There's another one which says, you explained that 3 pallets are good for a job: the loading pallet, then the pallet for the good parts, and the pallet for the bad parts, the parts with deviations. But what do we need the 4th pallet for then, on top and on the bottom?
Yeah, this is designed in that way. We had space for 4 pallets in each level. Then someone noticed that this doesn't really make a lot of sense. So we added optionally the 9th pallet over there in the corner. We have some special software for some customers. They don't use 3 pallets for each job. They use 4 pallets because they have tools that come from the grinding machine. They have 1 pallet for the tools that are not in tolerance. And then they have 2 quality grades. So quality grade A, quality grade B, depending on the values that are measured on the tool. But this is quite uncommon. Most of the customers only have good and bad tools, tools that are in tolerance and tools that are out of tolerance. Because of that, at some point we came up with the 9th place that we have 9 spots. 3 pallets per job means 3 jobs at the same time if we use the full capacity of the pallets.
Okay, great. Thank you. And there's one more. You mentioned the laser engraving to be done on 2 different spots on the side of the shank and at the end of the tool. Do you have any experience that laser engraving will cause then, after it's done, provided on the shank, will cause any runout issues when located then later in the collets?
So when we set up the laser, we have different settings. The engraving time, the frequency, the power of the laser. And this should be set up in that way that we have the laser engraving not too deep into the carbide. Because if this is like a really deep engraving where we also get a little bit of material buildup, then this can definitely cause issues with the runout, but also getting it into the chuck. So I did some tests with different laser settings, and I also managed to have one laser engraving that strong that I couldn't even fit it in the hydro chuck anymore. So this has to be considered and has to be set up in a good way that it is visible but not too deep.
Okay, thank you. I think, Kevin, that's it. Those are the questions I saw so far.
All right. Well, then we also have a few points regarding the Genius. Let me open the door for you. If the customer wants to attach a roboSet to existing Genius, or if you are selling the Genius together with the roboSet, there are a few things you have to keep in mind. The first thing is that the electronic cabinet, you can see it right here, needs to be on the left side of the Genius. Otherwise, we cannot fit the roboSet on the machine because the cabinet is in the way. The second point is that the Genius needs to be equipped with automation preparation article that is in the configurator. If those two things are given at a Genius, we can later attach a roboSet to it, or if you're selling it at the same time, you have to keep that in mind. Right here, we also have the hydro chuck for the automation. If you look inside here, let me turn on the light. You can see there's this little pin I talked about earlier, which is indexing the collets. Then it doesn't really matter.
Kevin, you can show quick like the collet again for some which just dialed in so they can see both again. Thank you.
Okay. So here we have one of the collets. So there are two differences compared to the standard collet that we have. Let me get it focused. Yeah, we have first of all, right here on the top, this little slot that the robot can grip it. And on the back side of it, we have another slot that the sleeve can be indexed inside of the hydro chuck with the pin I just showed you. So those are the two special features on those collets. Slot for the gripper and the slot for indexing it. If you then have a look at the left side of the Genius, you can see the cockpit has two screens. The lower one is for operating the Genius, so you can use it as a normal Genius machine. You don't have to use the automation all the time. This is then controlled with the lower screen, and then the upper screen is there to control our roboSet 2. In there, we will create the orders, we will start the orders, and we manage the complete automation process. And that's also the next thing we want to do. So I will switch from the camera view to the view of the screen. So this is now our roboSet software, and we are right now in the module for creating a new job. That's also what I want to do now. Let me get the camera out of the way. Oh. In order to set up a job for the roboSet, we just have to fill out this page right here from top to bottom. So first of all, the adapter, then really important, the order number. This is the same as the ID number on a standard tool. It's the file name, which our order is later saved in the database. So I can name this one presentation underscore February, for example. Then we can set up just a number similar to inventory number. How often have you already worked with this order? We can have a designation. So, and mills, for example, we can type in a batch number 1. And now we have to select a pallet type. If you go in here, you can see all the pallets that we have currently available for this roboSet. You can have a mix of ZOLLER pallets, customer-specific pallets, then they will all be right here in this list. In that case, we use the standard ZOLLER pallet for diameter 16. So I will select this one. Now the system knows that we use tools with a shank diameter of 16, and the robot also knows where the single holes for the tools are located and where to pick them up. Now we have to decide how we want to work. If we just have one type or one kind of tool, one specific tool on our pallet, we just want to go in here and select it from our database. Another thing we could do is, if we have really small batches, we just leave this field right here with tool empty, and we can select a single measuring program for each hole that we have in our pallet. So for now, I will select the tool. I will show you later the way of doing it without a designated tool for this order number. So now we have filled out all of the information. Next thing is to decide which job steps we want to perform. Obviously, we want to measure our tools. Right here, we have a few settings. So if we don't want to check all of the tools 100%, we can also do a spot check. So for example, 5. In that case, every 5th tool will be measured. Then we have 2 checkboxes right here. First part measured and last part measured. If I have an amount of tools that cannot be divided by 5, we will then measure the last part anyway. Doesn't matter if it's the 5th part or not. For now, I will leave everything blank because I prepared 3 tools that we want to measure, and we want to measure also all of them. We want to clean the cutting edge. Right here, we also have some settings. The first 3 right here, the cleaning time, the cleaning temperature, and the cleaning capacity, the power of our ultrasonic bath, those are all linked to the wet cleaning, the cleaning with the ultrasonic, with the water and the detergent. Right now, we just want to dry clean the tools. In that case, it's already pre-selected right here, the little checkbox next to dry cleaning, and I only want to do it once, not 3 times, so I will say I only want 1 repetition for drying. Confirm that. Then the next thing is the marking. We could also do that. In our case, our roboSet has the RoboMark with both possibilities, so we can measure on the shank and at the end of the tool. So we want to select vertical or horizontal. And then we also have a lot of settings that we can apply. We have some variables. For example, if we want to measure, if we want to engrave the diameter on the tool, we can tell the roboSet, engrave now the diameter of step number 1 onto this tool. We can also just write something. This is completely flexible, what we want to engrave on the shank. Then right here we have the well-done offset. So this is only available if you have the little device on the top to detect the flat spot, and then you can decide how many degree of this flat spot you want to do the engraving. Usually it's 180 or 90, but you can also decide by yourself. And a really important part is right here the laser layout. This is a .vlf file. We are using a laser from Trump in our machine, and those VLF files are Trump-specific files created in their software, and our laser can use them. This comes in really handy if the customer already has a Trump laser in his factory where he's doing the engraving maybe manually. Then we can take his layouts, load them into the roboSet, and then we also have them available right here. Or if they have like a little data matrix code on the tool, or the company logo, or any specific things, I don't know. This is all done through this VLF files. Right now I don't want to mark the tools, so I leave it empty. I don't want to do the alignment for the well-done area, but I want to do the bushing change. That means the robot is taking our reduction sleeve from the area where they are stored, and the robot is putting it inside of the spindle. So now we have set up our job steps. The next thing we need to do is the pallet positions. For that, I will quickly switch back to the camera right here. You can see all of the places where we can put the pallets have a little number right here. This one is number 6. Our tools, our 3 tools that we want to measure are stored up here. This is number 2. And then over here and over here, we have 2 more pallets on spot number 3 and spot number 4. That means if I'm here in the software, I want to select 2, 3, and 4. Those are the pallets that are active within this job. Now the machine already knows which pallets are active, but it does not know where the tools are stored currently. To tell the software this, we have the button F7 down here. Now we can see the 3 pallets that we have activated, and now we just want to select where the tools are located. In our case, on pallet number 2, the first 3 spots are occupied by the tools that we want to measure. I will accept that. In addition, we also have some tool settings. Those are really specific and they go really in depth. We have the pick height. We have the gripping distance into our chuck for the laser engraving and for the measuring. Those only need to be changed if we have really long tools or if the area where we grip the tool has a different diameter as the shank. So really specific parameters. For now, we don't need to fill out anything. We can just leave this menu. Now our job is set up and we can save it. As soon as I saved it, you can see on the right side, we have a new view. You can see numbers to be measured 3, numbers okay 0, bad numbers 0 because we haven't started yet. And down here you can see a preview of the current situation that we have. In our case, all 3 tools are still in pallet number 2. No tool was handled, so they are not in 3 and in 4. Now the order is completely set up. I think it is quite easy. You can do it quite fast. Now we would be ready to start it. Does anyone have questions to set up a order?
Kevin, it doesn't look like it. There were a couple other questions, I think, from before. Can the electrical cabinet be mounted later on the other side too? So can like one switch sides?
I think theoretically we can do that, but it will involve a lot of work, and I think we also have to change a few parts. So if the customer really insists, I think we can probably do it, but I would not recommend it.
Okay, not a big deal, right? But Nello had another question when importing the VLF file. Do all settings, also including laser settings, are imported as well?
Yes, we can import everything that is including the VLF file. But if the customer is using a different type of laser or different technology of laser, we may have to adjust the settings because they will not suit the laser we have inserted, but they will all come in that file.
Okay, and then last, because this is highlighting the application very well, is there like such a document for sales purposes also highlighting the advantages using a roboSet cell versus a Genius?
I don't know that. Maybe you can answer this question.
I don't. That's why I'm asking.
Okay.
You're very good
I
like
can...
in highlighting also the application, and you do a fantastic job in showing it. But then, of course, when I'm watching as a salesperson, I say, okay, can I like extract the document which says there will be time savings, this will be operator independent, I can run this 24/7, you know, I mean, those things, right? But are they available in a form of a conglomerated like document, a flyer or something?
Oh, I don't know that, but I can check if you have something available, and if so, I will send it to you guys.
Yes, please. If you could let me know, that would be great. On us, of course. Thank you.
Okay, so then I think that's it. That was the last question in the chat. So we are ready to start the order. And to do that, we just want to click right here, our button F5. Yes, we want to start it. And now you can see all of the fields are no longer available to be changed, that we don't interfere with the process by accident or on purpose. In order to change something, we have to stop the process, deactivate the badge, change something, and start it again. So you can see everything is now locked. Next thing we want to do is go back to the main menu, and we want to switch to the operating panel. You can see on the right side in the status area, we have a few errors or messages, informations. One of them is that the automation module in Pilot is not active. I now switch the screen to the one, to the lower screen, the one that is operating the Genius. In order to use the roboSet, we need to go right here into the mode automation, and we need to start the automation mode. The door also needs to be closed. So I have now closed the door. So this is now okay. If I switch back to the upper screen, you can see this error is now gone. So the Genius is ready. Next thing the machine is telling us is that the doors are open and that we have a collective error. That means that we haven't pressed the reset button. The machine is not in a reset mode. So I want to close the doors. Also open. And if I now switch back to the software, you can see the message with the open doors is also gone. And if I press the reset button once, the collective error is also gone. So now the machine is ready to be started. Before we do that, I will show you what you can see right here. In the middle, we have some information about the process. On the left side right here, the robot speed. In the middle, the progress of our tools. Right now, 3 of the 3 tools we want to measure are still not processed yet. They are still sitting in a pallet. Because of that, we have 0 good tools, 0 bad tools, and there is also no estimated end time. Right here, you can see the processes that we want to do. We want to measure, we want to clean, and we want to change the sleeve. And right here on the lower right corner, you can see the job that is active. Let me bring the device quickly to the manual mode, because in here we also have the possibility to operate some of the features manually. We can bring the robot into a home position, we can bring the measurement machine into a home position, we can open and close the grippers. If there is a need to do it, you can access all of the functions also manually. Then we have another tab for the cleaning. You can turn it on and off, ultrasonic on and off. You can preheat it, because we have approximately 10 gallons of water in our tank. It needs a few minutes to heat up. So you can start the preheating right here manually, because the process will only start if the water is on the nominal temperature. So right here you could start preheating. Then we also have a counter that is just counting the different things we are doing. For example, right here, we already opened and closed gripper 1 approximately 30,000 times on this machine. So let me bring it to auto mode. If I press the start button right here, there will be a safety warning. Did you select the right pallet type? Yes, I did that. Did you assign the correct slots? I also did that. Is there a clamping chuck in the spindle? Yes, it is. As soon as I check those 3 safety warnings, the button with F1 is showing up and I can start the process. In the beginning, I told you about the cameras that we have in the roboSet. Now you should be able to see them. The one on the left for the Genius, the one on the right for the roboSet. And if I now press the start button, the doors will lock and the robot will pick the first tool. First of all, it will check if it slipped on the little laser measuring device. After that, it will bring it to the gripper for the dry cleaning. This is because we need to change the orientation of the tool. If we want to clean the cutting edge has to point downwards. Right now it's pointing upwards, so the gripper flipped the tool 180 degrees. Right now you can maybe hear it. We are cleaning the tool with the compressed air, and the gripper is bringing the tool back to the other gripper for the cleaning. Next step is to put the bushing inside of the Genius. So the robot now took it, the little sliding door between the 2 machines opened, and the robot is now inserting the diameter 16 bushing into our hydro chuck. So now it locked the sleeve and it is taking our first tool out of the other gripper. It's cleaning it. Checking the length. And putting it inside of our hydro chuck. So now the measurement process in the Genius will start. In the meantime, the robot will already prepare the second tool. That as soon as the measurement cycle in the Genius is finished, the robot can just change the tools, and the measurement cycle of the second tool can start immediately. So do you already have some questions about the process of loading and measuring the tools with the roboSet and the Genius?
Kevin, don't see any. You just mentioned that you have 10 gallons of water there for the cleaning process?
Almost.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a big
reservoir.
Big reservoir. One thing I forgot to mention about it is that there are 2 ways of using it. So you can fill it up once, leave the water in and change it manually, or you can also hook it up to a hose and have a constant water flow, that the oil that is on the surface of the water is constantly overflowing of this reservoir.
There's one question I actually have. We do have a solution to orientate the cutting tool always on the main cutting edge to repeat the same position of the measurements.
Yes, this is a function in MP800 that is available if we have an end mill with, for example, 3 cutting edges. And one of those cutting edges is the one that goes to the center. We can use MP800 to always align this exact cutting edge to the same position.
Good, great. I think that is because that's what operators usually do, right? They're looking at the tool and also they are trying to locate it, and that is supported by the measurement program. That's excellent.
Yes, so as soon as we measure the 3 tools, I can show you the function in MP800.
There's another question, normal water being used for the ultrasonic, is that okay?
We used normal water from the hose in the past, but if you don't use it that often, if you just let it sit in there, it gets stinky and you don't want to use it anymore. And also the residue of the minerals in the water build up. So in the best scenario, you want to use water without minerals. But if you have the hose connected to it and you have a constant water flow and you maybe clean it out once a week, it's also okay to use normal water. Yes, we can also use that to the ionic water. We can also use that to have a little bit cleaner process and no residues of the water from the hose.
You see that the measurements are taking place right now with the 3D camera, looking at the end of the tool. That is taking some time now. How many parameters are programmed to be verified right now with this measurement program?
Right now we have a end mill diameter 16. We are checking the diameter of it. We are checking the rake angle, the radial relief 1 and 2, the land width, the core diameter, radial relief 1 and 2 on the face, and the land width on the face. So the most important parameters of this tool are being checked. And as you can see right now, it's also finished. The machine is going back to parking position. The light just turned on. And in a few seconds, the small door should open and the robot is going to pick the tool. So the most of the time is being used for the measurement. Depending how much parameters the customer wants to measure, the process for a full pallet can be longer or shorter. There is no fixed number that we can tell. This is different for every customer. So I will now switch the screens back to the upper one. Because as soon as the first tool was placed on the pallet, you can see it was a good tool. It is in tolerance. That's why this little part right here is green. And we also have now estimated remaining time and the estimated time where the process is finished. So this is now also filled out. Let me go back to the other screen that you can see what is happening. So now the second tool is being inserted into the chuck and the measurement of that will start soon. In the meantime, the third tool is being prepared as we have seen before. So now the second tool is almost finished. I will switch back to the upper screen. And we also have the possibility to pause the process at secure points, at safe points where the robot is at a home position and nothing is happening. To do that, we have right here the button F6 to make a pause at the next safe spot the machine is in. So now the measurement of this tool will finish, and after that, depending where in the cycle the next secure position is, the machine will stop, the doors will unlock, and we have the possibility to add another pallet, to remove a one that is finished, to do something to the machine. Now this will happen now in a few moments.
And Kevin, we see clearly the advantage now. While the machine and the cell is working, we are all doing something else. It's then probably one of the biggest advantages, right? So right now the machine is doing its thing. We can monitor on the side with the camera and focus maybe on some other stuff.
Exactly.
How many units do we have like currently placed with talking about the roboSet 2?
Around 16, 17, something like this.
Wow. So primarily like aerospace because of hard materials and high accuracy, high throughput?
Yeah, everywhere where we have a lot of tools that need to produce, big tooling companies where they produce hundreds of thousand tools per day, or companies where the need for quality checks is really high in medical field, aerospace, everywhere where we need the high accuracy and the where we have a high throughput of tools. So I now have stopped the machine and went back to the roboSet module. And you can see right here that something on the right side has changed. If I go to our overview again, you can see we have two tools that are green. One is yellow. Yellow means it is being processed currently. And if I select our tool number 1 right here, and if I press F5, I can have a look at the measurement results. You can see they are all good. And we could now go and print them each one by one for each tool, or we can also print or save as a PDF all the tools that we have at the same time with those buttons right here. Either print or directly save it as a PDF. Oh, I think there was a new message in the chat. Let me check. No? Does anyone have some questions regarding the protocols? Anything else you have just seen? Is there something?
The second tool that the system measured, even though it was in tolerance, it was placed in the same spot it was before. And on the beginning, you said there was 3 pallets because one was for the loading, one was for the bad parts, and the other one for the good parts.
So
is that not always the case?
It is the case. The tool was just not placed on this pallet yet. The measurement is finished. It is done. That means we have measurement results. In that case, it is a good result, but the tool is still indigenous. And as soon as it not reached its final spot right here, the machine will still consider this spot right here as occupied. That's why it is green, but still in the palette of the tools that are not measured yet. As soon as the robot will take it out of the Genius and put it here, the position in the software will also change.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Well, I think if there are no further questions, we can come to an end.
Yeah, Kevin, thank you. Doesn't seem like there are any more, maybe a minute or so, but regarding the distribution, you said 16, 17 of those units. Can you tell where they are kind of placed around the world?
Mostly around Europe and North America. We also have some units in Asia. I know a customer in China that is using one. We recently have sold one in India, but it is mostly in the markets where the labor cost is high, because then it's really expensive to measure the tools manually. But in countries where the labor cost is lower, like Asia, Southeast Asia, South America probably, we don't have a lot of machines installed, mostly Europe and North America.
Are there additional case studies, like references, which can be shared from Europe, like with us?
We have some case studies from, I think, 1 or 2 customers in Germany. I have to check if they are available in English. If they are available, I can send them to you.
Thank you.
Something like success stories.
Yes,
Yep,
we definitely have
exactly.
that from 1 or 2 German customers in German language. If there is a translation, I can send it to you. Otherwise, I can also send you the German version, Michael, and maybe you can make a translation for that for your colleagues.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.